The exploration vessel Aurora drifted silently over the cobalt-blue oceans of the uncharted planet, designated Zyra 7. Above, the twin suns glowed faintly through a thin, hazy atmosphere, casting soft streaks of gold across the ship's hull. Inside, the hum of machinery and the gentle murmur of crew members filled the control room, creating a calm, almost comforting rhythm. Captain Alina Rivas sat in the command chair, her hands resting lightly on the console. She had spent years navigating human expeditions across distant worlds, yet she never stopped marveling at the mysteries of the universe. Next to her, Dr. Aiden Cross adjusted the sonar interface, his brow furrowed with concentration. "Captain," Aiden said, pointing to the display, "I'm picking up something odd. It's faint, but it's definitely coming from below the trench. At first I thought it was just background noise, but it's structured, almost like patterns, like it's trying to say something." Alina leaned forward. "Structured, you say? Are you suggesting it's intelligent?" Aiden shrugged. "Possibly. It could also be geological activity or interference. But there's a rhythm, almost like a heartbeat or even speech." The rest of the crew gathered around the console. Lieutenant Mara Jin, the ship's communications officer, squinted at the sonar graph. "It doesn't match any natural signals I know, and it doesn't match known alien transmissions either." The room fell silent for a moment. Humans were explorers, yes, but encountering an unknown signal that might be intelligent was rare even for them. Alina straightened in her chair. "All right, I want a closer look. Prepare a probe." "We're going down." Captain Alina Rivas and her crew had become more than explorers. They were students of an extraordinary civilization, learning not just facts about the galaxy, but lessons about understanding, patience, and the power of curiosity. Inside the wreck, the sonar whispers had grown harmonious, almost musical. The ship seemed to respond more eagerly to the humans' presence, its patterns flowing like a dialogue. The crew had deciphered much, but the final chamber, the heart of the wreck, remained hidden, its entrance sealed behind symbols that no one had yet unlocked. Dr. Aiden Cross traced his fingers over the etched patterns, comparing them to the sonar pulses. "The symbols are a combination of logic and feeling," he said. "To open this chamber, we have to demonstrate not just intelligence, but understanding. The ship isn't just testing us, it wants to know if we're ready." Alina looked around at her crew. "Humans have always risen to challenges with curiosity and cooperation. We listen, we learn, and we adapt. Let's show it that we are worthy of its trust." For hours, they experimented. They combined sonar pulses with light sequences and careful touches on the symbols, matching patterns to the emotions they felt. The alien liaison watched in quiet amazement. Where other species might have relied on raw computational power or brute force, humans used patience, empathy, and creativity. Slowly, the symbols began to glow, the final lock on the chamber responding to the humans' careful interaction. With a soft hum, the doorway opened, revealing a vast chamber filled with crystalline structures. Light shimmered across the walls, reflecting thousands of holographic projections. At the center lay a platform, and upon it, a stellar map and a repository of knowledge far beyond anything the humans had encountered. Aiden stepped forward, awed. This is incredible. It's a library, a guide, a record of civilizations across galaxies. And it's all here, preserved for someone who could understand it." Alina felt a swell of pride and wonder. The ship chose humans, not because of strength, but because of our curiosity, our willingness to learn, and our respect for life. That is why it trusts us with its legacy. The crew spent hours exploring the chamber. They discovered detailed star maps, documentation of countless worlds, and technological designs far ahead of anything they had imagined. Holographic projections showed civilizations interacting peacefully, exchanging knowledge, and exploring the cosmos together. But more than that, The humans realized the ship had included lessons about cooperation, empathy, and creativity. Every artifact, every projection, every pulse of light and sonar whispered these values. The ship's creators had understood that knowledge alone was not enough. It needed beings capable of using it wisely. Mara Jin pointed to a projection of a planet with lush forests and clear oceans. Look at this. They didn't just document technology. They recorded cultures, environments, and living beings. Everything has meaning, everything is connected. Aiden nodded. And we can learn from it. Humans have always explored, but now we see the responsibility that comes with knowledge. This ship, it's teaching us that exploration is more than discovery, it's stewardship. As the crew absorbed the information, the ship's sonar pulses shifted again. They were no longer just signals. They were emotions, guidance, and encouragement. The humans could feel them in their bones, like a living heartbeat connecting them to a civilization long gone, yet still alive through their willingness to learn. Elena turned to the crew. We have to share this knowledge, but carefully. We must respect the lessons it teaches and ensure that its legacy benefits all life, not just humans. This is bigger than any one species. It's about the future of the galaxy. Over the next days, the crew documented everything they could. They created detailed records, translating the ship's sonar language into forms humans could use while maintaining the essence of its guidance. The alien liaison assisted, fascinated at how humans approached problems differently from any species they had ever known. The ship, in turn, seemed to grow more responsive, almost joyful. Its whispers harmonized with the human signals, forming a complex symphony of understanding. In one moment, the crew realized that the ship was teaching them to think in a new way, not just in terms of technology, but in terms of connection, creativity, and empathy. One evening, Elena walked through the central chamber alone. The sonar whispers pulsed softly around her. She placed her hand on the crystalline map and felt a surge of understanding. She could see the path the ship had traveled, the discoveries it had made, and the worlds it had recorded. A voice echoed, not words but meaning. She understood. The ship was entrusting humans to carry forward its mission of exploration, learning, and stewardship. Elena felt a deep sense of responsibility. Humans were not just explorers. They were now guardians of knowledge, capable of connecting civilizations across time and space. The following day, the crew gathered to prepare for departure. The wreck, sensing their readiness, pulsed with a final, radiant pattern, a blessing and a farewell. Its sonar whispers harmonized perfectly with the Aurora's systems, as if it were embedding its knowledge into the ship itself. Elena addressed her crew. We leave here not just with data, maps, and technology. We leave with understanding. We have been chosen to continue a mission that began long before us, a mission of curiosity, respect, and empathy. Let's honor it. The humans activated the Aurora, detaching from the wreck carefully. As they ascended through the water, the sonar whispers faded slowly, like a gentle sigh of satisfaction. Yet the lessons remained alive within them. The ship's guidance, its knowledge, and the understanding that humans were capable of bridging civilizations, connecting past and future. As the vessel broke through the ocean's surface, the twin suns of Zyra 7 shone brilliantly. Elena looked out at the horizon. This is only the beginning, she said softly. We have a galaxy to explore, knowledge to share, and a legacy to uphold. The alien liaison, observing quietly, spoke for the first time in weeks. I have seen many civilizations. I have observed explorers, conquerors, and scholars, but never have I seen a species capable of listening as you do. Humans, you are extraordinary. You honor the past while shaping the future. Mara smiled. We didn't do it alone. The ship guided us and we listened. That's the difference humans make. We see, we learn, we respect. Aiden added, and we adapt. That is why it chose us. Intelligence alone is not enough. Curiosity, empathy, and the willingness to understand, that is what makes us worthy. The Aurora turned toward the stars, its course set for new worlds. The wreck of the ancient ship remained below the waves, silent yet alive in memory, its sonar whispers now part of the humans' collective consciousness. In the weeks and months that followed, the crew shared their findings carefully with trusted scientific communities. They preserved the knowledge of the wreck, ensuring that the lessons it taught about exploration, cooperation, and understanding would guide humanity's future interactions with alien civilizations. Humanity, the story made clear, was capable of something unique. Across the galaxy, species observed, explored, and sometimes conquered, but humans had the ability to listen, empathize, and connect. The wreck had chosen them not for power, not for technology, but for the qualities that made them human: creativity, curiosity, and respect for life. In the final moments, Captain Alina Rivas stood on the observation deck, staring into the vast expanse of stars. The galaxy was immense, filled with unknown worlds and hidden wonders. She felt the whispers of the ancient ship within her mind, a reminder of the responsibility humans now carried. "We are explorers," she whispered. "Not just for ourselves, but for every life that exists, every story yet to be told. And we will honor that mission, always." The Aurora accelerated into the stars, carrying humans and the knowledge of civilizations long gone, leaving a legacy of hope, understanding, and the promise that humans could bridge the past and future, guided by wisdom, empathy, and courage. The sonar whispers, though no longer audible, lived within them. A call answered, a mission accepted, and a future bright with possibility. Humanity had risen to meet the challenge, proving that curiosity, courage, and compassion were the most powerful tools any civilization could wield. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and the humans sailed into them, listeners, learners, and bearers of an extraordinary legacy. The crew worked swiftly, launching a small, maneuverable drone toward the deep trench. Its lights cut through the water like a narrow beam of sunlight. On the monitor, the trench stretched endlessly, black and mysterious, the sonar pulse bouncing off unseen surfaces. Minutes passed, stretching into what felt like hours. Then the first image of the wreck appeared. It was enormous. The hull of a massive ship, partially buried in the silvery sand, looked almost organic. Its surface was etched with strange symbols, intricate patterns that seemed to shimmer faintly, even underwater. The human crew exchanged awed glances. "It's incredible," whispered Mara. "I've never seen anything like this." Aiden's fingers danced across the sonar controls. "Captain, the signals are stronger now. The closer we get, the more coherent they become. I think it knows we're here." Alina's heart raced. Humans were known for their curiosity and boldness, sometimes recklessly so, but even she felt a thrill of cautious excitement. "Prepare a landing. We're going down, slowly. We don't want to damage it or ourselves." As the Aurora descended, the sonar signals grew louder. Faint whispers echoed through the control room, almost as if the ship itself were speaking directly to them. Some crew members glanced nervously at one another, unsettled by the strange experience. Yet, despite their unease, human determination and curiosity could not be suppressed. When the Aurora touched the wreck, the crew deployed the docking arms. The ship's hull, though clearly metallic, had an unusual flexibility, almost like it was alive. The whispers intensified, forming subtle patterns that seemed to respond to their movements. Aiden placed a hand on the ship's surface, feeling a faint vibration like a pulse. "It's reacting. It's alive in some way, or at least aware of us." Mara looked at him, astonished. "Do you think it's sentient?" I don't know yet," Aiden admitted, "but it's trying to communicate." Alina nodded. "Then we'll listen, carefully." The crew prepared a small team to enter the wreck. They moved slowly, their lights illuminating strange corridors and rooms that had remained untouched for millennia. Walls were etched with symbols and reliefs, depicting scenes of exploration, distant stars, and unknown life forms. The whispers followed them, faint but present, like an invisible companion guiding their steps. In one room, they discovered an old control panel. The interface was unfamiliar, yet Aiden quickly realized it responded to touch in combination with sonar pulses. When he placed his hand on the surface, a holographic projection appeared, images of distant worlds, thriving cities, and peaceful beings exploring the stars. The crew watched in awe. The ship seemed to be showing them its story, sharing memories stored for centuries. The whispers became clearer, forming patterns that resembled language, though not any known human or alien dialect. Alina felt a mixture of wonder and responsibility. This ship, it wants to share something with us. Maybe knowledge, maybe guidance. Either way, we need to understand it. Over the next several hours, the team experimented with various ways to communicate. Using sonar pings and visual signals, they attempted simple questions and responses. Slowly, the ship responded. It pulsed in patterns like blinking lights, vibrating gently in reply. Lieutenant Jin marveled at the results. It's like a conversation. A real conversation, but not with words, with signals, with intention, Aiden nodded. Humans have a unique way of observing, listening, and adapting. I think that's why it's responding to us. It's recognizing intelligence and curiosity, the qualities it valued when it was active. Alina smiled faintly. Then we must be careful, respectful, and patient. Let's see where this conversation leads. As they explored further, the humans found remnants of exploration tools, maps of star systems, and journals carved into the walls. The wreck was ancient, perhaps thousands of years old, yet the care and artistry of its creators were evident in every detail. The crew also noticed something remarkable. The ship's hull seemed to resonate in harmony with their presence. Every step, every sonar ping, every light movement caused subtle shifts, almost like a living heartbeat. The whispers, now more rhythmic, seemed to guide them deeper, toward what might be the ship's core. By the end of the first day, the humans had not only established a connection, but also a deep sense of wonder. They realized that the wreck was more than just a relic, it was a bridge across time, a vessel of knowledge waiting for those who could listen. Alina stood on the observation deck, staring at the trench below. The suns had set, leaving the ocean in a deep twilight. The wreck glimmered faintly like a beacon calling out to those willing to understand. "We came to explore a planet," Alina said softly, "and instead we found a voice from the past speaking to us, and somehow it feels like it's answering our call." The crew nodded, each feeling the same sense of awe and responsibility. The human spirit, their curiosity, courage, and empathy had allowed them to reach this point. The wreck had chosen to reveal itself not to force, but to those who could appreciate it. As night fell over Zyra 7, the sonar whispers continued, soft and steady, like a heartbeat merging with theirs. The humans were not just visitors, they were participants in a story far greater than themselves. And somewhere deep within the wreck, it seemed as if the ancient ship was smiling, pleased to find humans who could listen, understand, and perhaps carry its legacy forward. The next morning aboard the Aurora, the crew prepared to explore the ancient wreck further. Sunlight pierced the thin atmosphere of Zyra 7, reflecting off the calm ocean surface and illuminating the strange vessel below. The ship's sonar now pulsed regularly, almost like a heartbeat synchronized with the humans' instruments. It was clear, the wreck wanted to communicate and the humans were determined to understand it. Captain Alina Rivas stood at the observation deck, watching the sonar display. "We have to be careful," she said. "Every move we make should show respect. This ship, it isn't just old. It's aware." Dr. Aiden Cross adjusted his equipment. "I've been analyzing the pulses overnight. They're not random. They respond to our sonar frequencies. The ship seems to learn. Every pattern we send is mirrored back in a slightly different way, as if it's thinking." Lieutenant Mara Jin smiled. "It's like a game of musical echoes. Each time we signal, it replies with its own melody. The team decided to divide into groups. One team would continue mapping the wreck, documenting its layout, symbols, and materials. Another team would attempt more structured communication using sonar pulses and light patterns. Elena led the communication team herself. They began with small, simple patterns. Short pulses meant as hello, long pulses for who are you, and a repeating sequence for we come in peace. The wreck responded almost immediately. Vibrations traveled along the hull, light patterns shimmered faintly, and sonar pulses echoed in intricate rhythms. The humans realized that the ship was trying to teach them its own language, or at least a method of exchanging information. "It's incredible," Aiden said, placing a hand on the hull. "It's not just reacting, it's trying to convey meaning. I can feel the rhythm changing when I touch specific symbols on the walls. Each one corresponds to a different type of response." Mara stepped forward, her eyes scanning the patterns etched into the hull. "Look at these symbols. They're not like any alien script we've seen. But if we combine them with the sonar pulses, maybe we can understand what it's trying to say." Over the next several hours, the humans experimented. They sent simple questions. Who built you? Why are you here? Can you show us your purpose? Each time, the wreck responded with a combination of vibrations, light pulses, and sonar whispers. Slowly, fragments of meaning emerged. Aiden noted, "It's showing us images in my mind, not holograms, but impressions. I see explorers like us, traveling between stars. Their ships are sleek, gliding through space. They document every world they visit." This wreck, it was one of them, left behind perhaps to protect knowledge or to guide future explorers. Elena's eyes widened. So it wasn't abandoned, it's waiting for someone who can understand, someone worthy. Mara pointed to the symbols on the wall. "It's like a storybook. Each symbol corresponds to a memory, an event, and when we trigger the right sonar pattern, it shares it with us." The team spent days learning the wreck's responses, each human contributing their skills. The alien liaison aboard the Aurora watched with fascination. While their species relied heavily on logic and pre-programmed learning, humans approached the problem differently. They were patient, creative, and persistent. Their ability to listen, experiment, and adapt impressed the alien observer. One breakthrough came when Aiden combined light signals with sonar pulses while touching a specific symbol on the hull. The wreck responded with a holographic projection, showing a distant world filled with tall crystalline structures and oceans glowing with bioluminescent life. The projection shifted, displaying explorers interacting peacefully with the world's creatures, documenting plants and minerals and recording star maps. "It's beautiful," Mara whispered. "This ship, it was part of something incredible." Elena nodded. "And it chose to share it with us. That's remarkable. Humans have always been explorers, but this is proof that our curiosity and respect can connect us to civilizations long gone." Over the next several days, the humans developed a more sophisticated method of communication. They realized that by combining touch, sonar, and light, they could ask more complex questions. The ship responded with sequences that conveyed concepts rather than just simple answers. Aiden discovered that certain sonar frequencies corresponded to emotions. "I can feel it expressing excitement, sadness, pride. It's almost like a living being, sharing its memories and feelings with us." Elena reflected on this quietly. Humans have always believed in understanding others, listening, empathy, patience. Maybe that's why the wreck trusts us. We don't just seek knowledge, we seek to understand. The crew soon uncovered a series of chambers containing artifacts and tools used by the wreck's creators. Each item seemed mundane at first, but as they touched it and sent sonar signals, holographic memories unfolded. The humans witnessed the creators studying star systems, interacting peacefully with other civilizations, and leaving guidance for explorers who might one day find them. One day, Mara found a small panel hidden behind a wall. When she touched it, a soft light glowed, revealing a map of stars and planets spanning multiple galaxies. It was the ship's ultimate gift, a repository of knowledge. The humans realized that the wreck was not only sentient but also a guardian of knowledge, waiting for beings capable of appreciating and preserving it. Alina gathered the crew. "This is bigger than any mission we've had. This ship, it's a library, a guide, and a teacher. And it chose us to receive it. That is an honor, but it is also a responsibility." As the days passed, the humans' bond with the ship deepened. They could almost anticipate its responses, their signals forming a conversation that felt alive. The wreck shared stories of ancient worlds, ecosystems, and civilizations, teaching lessons about cooperation, curiosity, and respect for life. The alien liaison admitted, almost in awe, "Your species, you listen differently. You adapt. You respect. It's unlike any other civilization we've encountered. This ship has recognized your spirit." Alina smiled, a mixture of pride and humility. "Humans have always reached for the unknown. We explore not to conquer but to understand. Maybe that's what makes us different." One afternoon, while exploring a chamber filled with glowing crystals, Aiden felt a sudden pulse through the hull. The sonar pattern shifted rapidly, almost urgently. "Captain, it's showing me something new. A place. A destination. I think it wants us to continue its mission. To explore further beyond this world." Alina's eyes lit up. "Then that's what we'll do. We'll learn what it wants to teach us and share it. Humanity has always been about discovery, and now we have guidance from a civilization that came before us." The crew continued mapping the wreck, documenting its symbols, holographic records, and the new star maps it revealed. Every day, the whispers became clearer, forming a language of pulses, lights, and vibrations, a unique communication that only humans could fully interpret because of their empathy, creativity, and patience. By the end of Part 2, the humans had achieved a profound understanding. The wreck was not just a relic. It was a sentient guardian, choosing humans to inherit knowledge and continue its mission. The HFY message was clear. Humans, curiosity, ingenuity, and empathy allowed them to connect with a civilization far older and wiser, bridging time and space in a way no other species could. As the sun set over Zyra 7, the sonar whispers harmonized with the crew's instruments, no longer mysterious but welcoming. The humans had not only discovered an ancient ship, they had found a friend, a teacher, and a guide. And somewhere deep inside the wreck, it seemed as if it were smiling, content that its knowledge would live on through these humans, who had listened, learned, and understood.